remain a little bit private if they would choose. Okay, so again, we've muted everybody for the majority of the service so that we don't have the background noise interfering. And during the sharing portion of the service, if you want to be called on for a comment, there's a few ways to do that. Number one is the real high-tech way of just waving your hand. And as I scroll through the videos, I will see your hand waving and be able to call on you that way. You can also use the chat function. And as you may become familiar, that's one of the boxes that if you scroll up from the bottom of your screen, in the middle taskbar, the word chat will appear and you can send a message that way as well. And I'll make sure that we get you unmuted for your questions or comments, okay? And also, as we get started, I want to mention that if you wish to make a donation to our beautiful church, even though we're not in the physical building, we are still paying rent for that physical space. You're welcome to make a donation through the Church of the Angels website. And we'll talk about that a little bit. And you'll also have the opportunity to make your donation a recurring one if you would choose to do so. When you look at it on our website, it is secure, and you'll see your options there. I do want to give honestly a big shout out of gratitude and thank you to the people who have been donating through this difficult time while we can't be physically present. Definitely, I'm so honored to still be a part of the church that's still functioning. So I'm going to ask you now to join me in our opening prayer. Mother, Father, Infinite Spirit, thank you for your blessings on all those joining us today to honor your work and experience your grace and your wisdom. Thank you for providing the appropriate thoughts, insights, actions, and all resources for us to gain a better and truer understanding of your love by the words spoken and by the healing brought forth here today, Lord, so that we might lead healthy, happy, and prosperous lives. Thank you for showing us the way to accept responsibility for our lives. And we are grateful to know you are always with us. And so it is. So now please join us in our statement of principles, which today is going to be read to us by Liz McDermott. Liz, I will find you and unmute you very briefly. If you're interested in having a copy of our statement of principles, those are on our website. So Liz, thank you. Can you read us the statement of principles?
There is one creative force of which all life is a part. This one creative force is known by many names and manifestations. We recognize and honor the many names and manifestations of the one creative force, the source of all creation, one in God. The energy of life everywhere is continuous. All consciousness is continuous. Communication is continuous. The energy of life, consciousness, and communication never cease, even after the event that is perceived as death. One creates one's own reality. One creates in harmony with the one creative force, the great power of God, of which all life is a part. Reality is as one chooses to perceive and will change as one grows in knowledge of the inner self and one's relationship with the God of his understanding. All things are possible with faith, insight, knowledge, understanding, acceptance, and love. Love is the unifying energy of the universe. Love is the energy of the one creative force, the wisdom of God. All life and all mankind are one in the creatorship and healing force of love and with each other. Love is within us and of us. Love is never apart from us. It is we who separate ourselves from the power of love. The force of God works through love and love alone.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Liz. I appreciate that. Okay. So I'd like to start with a few moments of quiet reflection and meditation at this point in time so that we can concentrate on going within to find peace and calm and healing for ourselves and for the world around us. We'll spend about 5 minutes in this quiet, connected space. And so as we start, I would invite you to simply either close your eyes or gaze at a spot on the floor about 3 feet in front of you, whichever is comfortable, and just allow yourself to feel support, feel nourished, feel provided for and taken care of by our beautiful Mother Earth. Notice the support of the chair beneath you or the bench. Notice the support behind you if your back is resting comfortably. Notice your feet on the floor, the ground, knowing that Mother Earth is there supporting you graciously in her arms, allowing yourself to relax into this place of peace, into this place of wholeness. Allowing yourself to breathe deeply, allowing yourself to breathe wholly through your whole body. Feeling supported, feeling nourished, feeling the love of Spirit. Allow that feeling to prevail throughout your soul and in every cell of your body. Feel the light and love of Spirit guiding your days, supporting your breath as you are supported by the earth. Allowing yourself to just breathe now for a few moments. And gently now shift your breathing, shift your awareness, coming back into this present space. Consider inhaling the love of the universe and exhaling love to the universe. Inhaling peace, exhaling peace. And finally inhaling healing and exhaling the healing energies we all have, that we may change the world. Remember that we are always connected to each other and to the divine, and we can use this peace and this calm that we may currently feel to take care of yourselves and to take care of those around you, take care of your communities throughout the world in whichever way we can. We always have access to this love and peace. And now please, silently or out loud, add the names of those you wish to include in this healing energy.
My mom, Lindsay, Jim, James, Eric, all those sick and suffering and in pain.
Ben and Reagan. Debbie? Ed?
And so we know in the divine perfection of the universe, as we bring through our loving light and healing energies, as is for the highest and best, so it will be. Thank you. All right, we're going to shift the energy up a little bit. You know, that's how we do it, Church of the Angels. We just about get all into like the zone and zoomy feelings, and then we shift it up a bit and enliven and bring through joy. So at this point in time, I'm going to raise our vibration with the song. This one happens to be from Johnny Nash. And I think you know it if you're probably like over the age of, I don't know, 40 or something. Sing along if you know the words.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Look all around, the sky. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
All right. Thank you for those that were singing along and enjoying the thoughts of a bright sunshiny day, which we certainly have here in Ohio today. And I have to admit, you know, how often is it, I mean, this technology and the COVID has certainly brought a bunch of challenges, but having these virtual church services that we're in each other's homes, so to speak, or backyards, and then we get to see each other's pets. How often is it that you get to take your cat or dog to church, so to speak, right? And I just love seeing all the cats that wander by the cameras and and the dogs that are getting their loving on a Sunday morning. So there are some definite delights with having a church service in this format. But now it's time for inspiration and thought exchange brought to us by today's speaker. We invite everyone to address our assembly with words of inspiration, lessons learned, or passionate ideas that you may hold. And our speaker today is Rev Debra, and she has been on a spiritual path all of her life. But like most of us, she says that she was oblivious to it for a large portion of that time. Looking back, she is now able to recognize the many glimpses of God's glory and God's love touching her life, and she is sincerely grateful that she is able to see that more clearly now. Hence the song. So, Reverend Debra, if you want to unmute yourself, there you go. Without further ado, thank you for speaking with us today.
Yeah, thank you, Reverend Cindy. And that song was absolutely perfect to lead into my topic. So I think many of you were there in February of 2018. I did a talk at church on, and it was titled "Hope, Detoxing, and Chaos." And a couple weeks ago, after I agreed to do this Zoom church service and talk with you all, I found the flip chart, because I did it old school. I did it with flip chart, you know, that I had created that day. And then I was like, oh, I had recorded that too. So I listened back on it. So it is pretty interesting how it just all ties into even more so what we're going through today. You know, there was a lot of things happening in 2018, but there's even, I mean, we have to admit, this is even more. Just who would have thought, you know, everything we're going through and everything that keeps coming up. But in that talk, I also talked about, and what I've realized is we have to go through these periods of chaos and detoxing, and we have to hold the space of hope for the bright future to come, a clear, sunshiny day to come. And it's our choice. We all know that. Everyone at this church understands energy, and we all understand, you know, where we put our focus is what we're bringing about. And we even have to, and I've thought about this too, we even have to think about, you know, did we bring about all this chaos ourselves because we weren't happy with the way things were? You know, we have to admit things aren't perfect. There was a lot of things a lot of us were unhappy with the way, you know, the patriotic system, the money system, the debt a lot of us have gotten into because of, you know, them enticing us with the marketing, and then even the news, how much out there. A lot of it's fear-based. Most of it's fear-based, and we've lived in this fear-based society of, you know, survival of the fittest, and it's time to get past that. And in that talk, I also talked about, and we all know, I'm sure most of us have studied, you know, we're in the age of Aquarius now, which is more about unity, which is more about oneness, which is more about coming together, and creating this beautiful world, this new earth, this heaven on earth. I don't like to use the word new world. I like new earth, like heaven on earth. I don't even like to use the term new normal, because that's what they're trying to push on us. And they're trying to talk us into the new normal as wearing masks and keeping away from each other. And that's not who we are as human beings. We're meant to be together. That's how we thrive. We're like cells in one huge, large organism, which is called universe. And we're meant to work together in harmony and peace and love and unity and support one another when we're in a place of our own neutral space, in our own place of bliss. And we can really help people thrive that way. But we have to personally get to that place. And a lot of ways to get to that place is turning off the news. I haven't watched the news in like 10 years, but of course we have Facebook. So, you know, I engaged in that, especially during this. I had a lot of time on my hands, and I was like, I know what's really going on. And I started studying, and I got locked into it. I mean, I got to the point where I was driving people crazy, because I was, oh, and then this and this and this. And I had to recognize myself. I was engaging, even though I'm like, I don't watch the news. Oh, look at me. You know, I'm so smart not to do that. But I was still engaging, and I was fully engaging in social media. So I had to take a step back. And one of the beautiful things, though, also I recognized in the beginning of this, even in the very beginning of this, was that nature, Mother Nature, was calling us back to her. You know, I even started wanting to create a garden, because we weren't sure of, you know, what's going to happen with the grocery stores, the farms. And so many people I know are now creating these beautiful gardens, and you know, and I just desired to put beauty around me. So I bought all these roses that I'm going to plant. So it's Mother Nature's calling us back to her. And even with people locked in their homes in the quarantine, we were still allowed to go to parks. So when I would hiking, I mean, they were full, and some people complained about that, but it was such a blessing to see families together, teenagers walking with their parents at a certain time of the day, because they just craved to get out. So there was a lot of healing. There has been a lot of healing and blessings going on. But first we need to, you know, get past the, get through the chaos and the detoxing. And I just want to start with the chaos. We're going to go backwards. I had it titled Hope, Detox, Chaos, but let's start with the chaos, and we'll talk about the detoxing, and then we'll talk about the hope. So when I looked up the word chaos, it means complete disorder and confusion, behavior so unpredictable as to appear random, owing to a great sensitivity to small changes in conditions. And that's where I kind of feel like with the gardening and people getting back to nature, those are the small changes. And the third definition of it was the formless matter supposed to have existed before the creation of the universe. So I feel like we're in that moment, that time period of the formless matter, where we are in the middle of creating a beautiful universe, and it's all up to us. It's where are we putting our focus? Where are we putting our focus? Are we focusing on the fear and the old that's being burned away? Are we putting more of that out there? Are we focusing on the new earth and the new heavens to come? I'm sure many of you are familiar with the story of the 100th monkey. It was an island in Japan off of Kagoshima, Japan. And their food source got depleted, and these scientists were throwing sweet potatoes down for them. And they loved the sweet potatoes, but they hated the sand on the sweet potatoes. And it took them 18 months when finally one monkey, Naomi, she decided to wash the sweet potato in the ocean. And it was like, oh, this is wonderful. It got rid of all the sand. There's no sand in my tea. That I'm so excited about it. So she taught her mother how to do it. And then they taught other monkeys how to do it. And then this process went on where they taught each other on the island. And these monkeys were studied from 1952 to 1958. And in the fall of 1958, the number of monkeys that were washing their potatoes, other monkeys just started doing it. They didn't need anyone else to teach them. They just started washing. It became a new paradigm, a new collective consciousness. And then the scientists also noticed that monkeys in the neighboring islands just automatically started washing their potatoes. So you have to ask yourself, if this story is true, and it's absolutely true, there was a study, is it not true for us? We know our minds are powerful. We know we're plugged into the collective consciousness. You have to ask yourself, are you possibly the 100th monkey that's going to make that big paradigm shift and jump? And if you are, where's your focus? Do we want it to jump back into fear where we've been for thousands and thousands of years, dominated by control and patriarchy? Or do we want to move back in? We want to move into a unified shift. Are you that 100th monkey? It might be you. It might be Reverend Jenny. It might be Reverend Cindy. It might be B. It might be Ann. It might be any of you could be that 100. I could be the 100th monkey and cause that shift where then we're all, and we've seen this. We have, and we know it because we practice it, the love and light. We've seen more of those messages. Even in the midst of what we went through last weekend, we saw, more kindness, more love, people standing up for each other. People coming together, just wanting to share that love. So we have to kind of, and I'm saying this as much for myself as anybody else, is just that constant reminder that we have to, where's our focus? Where's our focus? Are we on creating the new earth, or are we stuck in the old paradigm, in the old earth? It takes, a big paradigm shift. When I first started having my awakening, and the first time I went to Lilydale, I picked up this book, Spontaneous Evolution. And it's by Bruce Lipton and Steve Furman. And the thing that attracted me the most about this book was the subtitle, Our Positive Future, How to Get There from Here. And I got it earmarked and I got it highlighted, the whole thing. I mean, I could highlight this whole book. But it's wonderful because it shows us, how we can create a more positive future. So in that too, the book talks about, and I know by studying nutrition, we have to go through a period of detoxing. And in the detoxing, if anyone's ever gone through and held tight to a detox, the first few days are miserable. Your body, everything that you've been holding on to, all that old chemicals, everything that's locked in your cells is coming up. And it has to be released because it's in the body. It has to be released. And a lot of times people quit at that point, because it feels so uncomfortable. So I feel like that's where we're in the middle of. We're in the middle of a full-on detox, and every event, everything that keeps showing up, every month when we level up in the game of Jumanji, every month something else is coming up. things are bubbling up to be detoxed. And the only way to heal is to address it, is to release it. And we have to go within ourselves to release it. You know I was married, my first husband's family liked to sweep things under the rug. But as we all know, you keep sweeping things under the rug, there's going to be a big lump in that rug that you're going to trip over one of these days, and so that's it. We need to lift that rug up and bring all that dirt out and sweep it away and let it go. So we are in the middle of this massive collective detox. And this could go on for a long time. And I think too, the thought just came to me, it's up to us how long this goes on. Because again, like I said earlier, we don't know who the 100th monkey is. We don't know when that shift is going to completely happen and it's going to become, and it's going to take a while, but we don't know for certain. And maybe, who knows, we could all fall asleep tonight and wake up in a new paradigm, a new reality tomorrow. I think that's what we did a few months ago. I'm joking all the time. I'm like, we all fell asleep and woke up in a different realm that we didn't really want, but we all need to be here. Every single one of us, especially on this, comes to our church and is attracted to we're healers, we're light workers. We came in, and I think Anne was talking about earlier, the contract we signed to go through the traumas we went through and the things we've gone through in our lifetimes to get to this point. Believe me, my life hasn't been easy. My life hasn't been easy this last month, but again, it's where am I putting my focus? Am I looking at the opportunities that are coming up, or am I still focused on the door that closed behind me? I want to make sure I remind myself to focus on the open window of opportunity. So we talked about chaos, and we talked about detoxing, and now my favorite part is talking about hope. The definition of hope is a feeling and an expectation. And I know many of us have also practiced visual meditation, feeling meditation, where you visualize something and you add the emotion to it, because the emotion will charge it. And the emotion puts it out there. Even it's a greater call to the universe to bring it to you. So with hope, it's a feeling, an expectation, an optimistic state of mind based on the expectation of a positive outcome. I also, before this, it was right after this whole, quarantine and all that started, I said a prayer and I wrote out some stuff that was coming through about building the new earth, but I came up with HOPE as an acronym, healing our pain eternally.
Wow.
So when I think about hope, I think we're in that process of healing our pain eternally, because we've all had a lot of pain, and the earth suffered a lot of pain. Us not, putting her first, and she's showing us where we need to put her first and how we can bring her back into our bodies to heal us and to heal one another. And that's with our gardens and adding beauty and focusing on that. So I do believe we're in that space of hope. Aristotle said, hope is the dream of the waking man. I love that. Hope is the dream of the waking man. So, when we're in a space of hope and hopeful anticipation of what is to come, I mean, that's where our creation, where we need to be creating from, that space. There's enough people engaged in fear. There's enough people engaged in anger. There's enough people. There's plenty of people dealing with that. That's what I came to think last weekend. I was going to go be part of the demonstrations, and I even thought about going and trying to preach hope, but I was afraid to. But I was a little afraid they'd throw a brick at my head, so I didn't go. But so I chose to stay home and meditate. And then I've been landscaping in my garden, and I've been carving hearts out of the chickweed. Instead of pulling it, I've been carving it into hearts, because I was like, that's my way. And so it was focusing on love. So that was my way of giving back. And so I just think if we can remember that, I'm just as guilty of going down those rabbit holes. Believe me, I went deep several times, and I tried to bring people with me. I was like, let me show you what's happening, but they don't need that fear either. So I'm happy I reset myself, and I'm hoping that it continues throughout today, because any minute I can, you know, see something else on Facebook. So a big thing I'm trying to stay off Facebook as much as possible, because that was seemed to be a trigger. I do like it in certain realms, but I'm, again, you know, years ago I thought, well, I'm just going to put love out there, and if the message didn't come from love, I was like, I'm just not going to put it. But during this whole thing, that kind of shifted a little bit, and I was sharing the other stuff. So I'm going to get back to hope. And then the last piece, and I didn't mention this earlier, is I was listening to somebody recently, and they said faith is one step above hope. And I know for me, and I've been practicing this for probably the last year, is when I have moments where things really feel like it's too much, where I'm really locked in, and and sometimes we got to do that to release the grief. We got to cry, we got to let it go, because it is locked in our bodies and it has to be released, and tears are the way to release it. But I try to remember to remind myself to trust God. And when I do that, when I pray for God to take away the pain, take away what I'm going through, take away all the fear, and I trust God, sometimes I have to journal it out. I got pages and pages where all I've written is, I trust God, 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 because I need to get it here, from here to here, because up here can make me crazy. But once it's coming from my heart, and I really feel the faith in what's going on, and really get that embodied within myself. And like I said, some days it takes pages and pages of journaling, just I trust God, I trust God, I trust God. That's where I can find, you know, the peace of what's really happening, and I can move outside of it, raise the vibration. You know, we all have that choice. Do we want to stay in the lower vibration of fear, anger, sickness, disease? If you look at a vibrational chart, that's low energy, very, very low energy. And that's one step above, you know, we're gone, we're out of here. But if I can keep my vibration right, you know, higher. And I've noticed too, this is interesting, people in my past that I know haven't, and I don't want to call them evolved, that's not it. They're on a different path. They're on a different ascension point at this point, or they're just, their journey, they just haven't quite, you know, gotten to the point where they understand the difference between fear and love and living in the vibration. When my vibration is lowered, they contact me. And I'm like, oh no, I'm at their vibration. You know, I've lowered my vibration, because I get a text from my ex-husband or not. I'm like, oh God, I got to raise back up. Yeah, I'm like, so when I am at a higher vibration, I notice they're just not on the same realm. You know, I don't know if I ever told you guys about this, but I had a salon down in Chagrin Falls, and I was meditating down by the falls one morning, and I came up, and this couple was on the bridge, and I said, good morning. And this woman literally hissed at me. I've never been hissed at. I was like, whew. And I think I've described it here before. I think sometimes as we ascend and we raise our vibration, it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys remember the bug light, or if they even still have those. You know, you used to have this bug light, and the bugs would zap themselves on this thing. So I feel like when our vibration is higher, we're like that light. We're emanating this light energy, and people that aren't there, and God bless them, you know, that's their path and it's their journey, they don't know how to react to that energy. So sometimes it comes out as an anger or a jolt or a hiss, or, you know, so we just have to, you know, just be like, and I just was, God bless you. I didn't say it out loud because she might have hit me, but I just kept walking, got into the salon, said a little prayer for her, and called my girlfriend. I was like, have you ever been hissed at? Oh my gosh. And she's like, yeah, we discussed it. So, but it's interesting. Yeah. So I just know, as long as I practice what I need, the tools I use to keep my vibration high, and mainly besides prayer and meditation, it's getting out in nature. Anytime I'm feeling locked up, I'm grabbing my backpack and I'm going for a hike, and that hour, 2 hours I'm in the woods, it resets me. It just realigns me with God. And or I get out barefoot, or, you know, or get my hands in the dirt. And every time in my life I've gone through periods of dis-ease, periods of destruction, periods of darkness, I have not been in nature. And every single time, Mother Nature has called me back, either through an experience or just the desire to have my hands in the dirt. So it's interesting. So yeah, I just, wanted to share that with you all, because I do believe we are in a point of time and space, and a paradigm is about to shift. We're right there. We're on the verge. And I don't think it's going to take 100, 200 years, like, some people talk about. Like I said earlier, no one knows who that 100th monkey is going to actually take us into it. And we, as light workers and energy workers and healers, are here to hold that space of love and that high vibration. So when others, get it, or when they have the glimpses, we can say, yeah, let me share this experience with you. And we can show them the way. We're way showers. And we are being called now, louder than we've ever heard the call, to stand in that space of love. And I just wanted to share that with you all this morning. I'm so grateful. This is awesome. I miss seeing you all in person. I miss hugging you so much. Oh, I miss hugging so much. But I know we'll be hugging again soon. It is nice to be out here in nature with the blue skies and the flowers and just the breeze. And it feels so good today. So I'm blessed that you all are here, took the time this Sunday morning to even pay attention, to listen at all, and I know we're in this together, and we're shifting. We are moving into new earth. We're moving into heaven on earth, because it exists right here, for me anyway. It exists right here in this moment. It's not some far out place that I need to strive to work towards. It's right here in this moment. And it's where's my focus, and I'm trying my hardest to keep my focus on love. And some days it is hard, but most of the time, once I get there, I'm like, oh, this feels so good. Why did I even, So it is. It's just that feeling of love, and I'll just leave that with you all. I love you all so much. My divine love and light sees the divine love and light within all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Debra. Oh my goodness, beautiful. Yeah, exactly. Kudos, claps.
Thank you.
So, well, now don't go too far away. Are there people? I'm going to scroll through and look for waving hands or chat box messages. Yes, Lydia, I'm unmuting you. Let me unmute you, and then we won't be fighting each other. There you go, Lydia. I think you're live now. No, you're not. Hold on. We can't hear you. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to say that my feeling was for this talk that Deborah just gave us was truly from source, God, Goddess, all that is, whatever you want to call. I mean, this was a gift I felt just for me because that's what it feels like. But you know what? We can all be the 100th monkey. We all can be that. And I just am so grateful. I have never been more grateful in my life. And one of the challenges I've had this week is how to tell people to please around me, because I want to stay high vibration to whatever. If you ever say anything negative, and I'll help you with it, just please work with me because I need this help. I am wanting to stay that up here. And it's true. Facebook is now a little bit harder to, I don't watch news either. I gave that up 10 years or more ago too. I mean, I still know what's going on, but I just don't listen to how it's, anyway, I just wanted to say thank you so much. And you did a wonderful job too. I just love, what a great thing. Jenny, you did great putting out there.
Yep. Absolutely. Deborah, I know, and you can, I don't know if you're seeing the chat box, but in the chat box, there are others that would agree with Lydia. It was a wonderful talk and a wonderful topic for today.
Thank you.
And your passion and spontaneity certainly came through with words of wisdom for all of us. And so I'm going to call on Fran. So Fran, I'm going to unmute you, or if you want to unmute yourself. Unmute. There you go.
Okay. I wanted to say you brought something to my understanding that I hadn't really thought about. I've never been one to watch, like, focus in on the negative of the news and what's going on. I've kind of always like, okay, I'll find out the details later. But I found myself this past weekend and the past week just being glued to the news, and it's been not a positive experience, obviously. And I think that you really made it clear, Reverend Deborah, at least to me, part of it that I'm thinking is that the reason why some of us are so glued to Facebook and so glued to the news is because we do have that feeling that we need to be connected to somebody. Like you said, we are all one. We're meant to be connected. We're meant to be close to each other. And we're not being able to do that because of the quarantines and the isolation. And I think that's what's bringing some of the negativity in our lives, because we don't have that. And we all recognize that we don't have that, but we don't recognize what it's doing to us, how it's making us be more dependent on Facebook and be more dependent on the news. And I think that we need to maybe start having more Zoom meetings with people that we love, and Zoom meetings with just friends, you know, and maybe that will help us get through some of these hard times. So thank you very much. I thought it was a great talk, and some of it brought some real enlightenment to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much appreciated. Any other comments? I'm scrolling. I'm looking at chat box. I'm looking for people to wave. And I'm looking at Ann Cheney laughing. And all right,
Carol.
yes, Carol Miller. Okay, there you go.
Good morning. Thank you, Deborah. I love the talk. And it's not exactly the same as the 100th monkey, but as you were talking, I commented to Dale, you know, George Floyd was sort of the 100th monkey. Probably many of you saw his little daughter up on a friend's shoulder saying, "My daddy changed.
Yeah.
My daddy changed the world." And so we need to be the 101 monkey and the 102 and just carry on from there.
That's a good point, Carol. That's a good point.
Oh, Dale's got one.
And Reverend Deborah, could you say again what the name of that book was that you talked about, and say a little bit more about it?
Oh, the spontaneous evolution. Yeah.
Right.
It actually fell on the ground, but yeah, it's Bruce Lipton and Steve Berman, and it just goes back in our history, and it talks about, you know, Darwinism and how and it even has timelines of when things started. Like in the beginning, we started as animism, where everything was spirit, and then it went down, and it's a fascinating book. If you get a chance, I can put it in the chat after we're done with this section, and that way you can look it up. But yeah, it's called Spontaneous Evolution, and I think they wrote it in 2014. But and like I said, the tagline was "and a guide to our positive future." But it just shows us timelines and how we got here and where we're headed. And I mean, and it's exactly on time. It's wild. It's awesome. Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? I'm scrolling. We have Reverend Renee. Yes.
I'd like to say, yeah, thanks. I'd like to say thank you, Deborah, sister. You know, you and I are both reading the same book, so to speak. I think a lot of people are here where many lights, you know, shining really bright. And when you brought up the 100th monkey, I took a walk yesterday with somebody, and I was trying to explain to him the concept. Totally forgot about the 100 monkey, you know, research. So now I'm going to look it up. I'm going to have to send him that link and say, this is what I was talking about. And it's so true. And thank you for all that you do, keeping your vibration high and sharing your love, because it's contagious in a good way. Yeah.
In a good way. Yeah. No social distancing from love, right?
Nope.
No. All right. Any other hands briefly? We'll move on here in just a moment. I don't see chats. I don't see hands. Oh, wait, did I see a hand at the last minute? Nope. Okay, I think we're good. All right. Well, again, I think we would all echo the sentiments that it was a wonderful talk, Reverend Debra, and very timely, very needed. And I love the acronym for healing our pain eternally, or hope. That's a way cool way of looking at that concept. So thank you again.
Thank you.
So yeah, so we're going to move into some message work right now. As spiritualists, we believe that the energy of all beings is forever linked, and that all of us have direct access to the love and guidance of loved ones, guides, teachers, saints, and healers and angels on the other side of life. We have mediums who have joined us today who have agreed to be of service and connect with Spirit to bring forth a few messages for us. So at this point in time, I would first like to call on Reverend Vicki. Reverend Vicki, I got to find you here and make sure you're unmuted. There
I'm
you
here.
go. Okay, good morning.
Can you
Thank
hear me?
you.
Okay.
Yep.
Hi. Alicia Thomas, would you like a message? Okay. I'm seeing on a lot of changes coming. There's a new door opening for you, and you're stepping through it, and it's heavier work mentally than what you're doing. But you've got it all. You know how to do it, is what I hear from Spirit, and not to worry about it. It's going to be okay. Feel a lot of ancestors with you today. They're sitting all around you, especially an uncle on your father's side, a couple generations back. He's coming in very strong for you and guiding you. And he's trying to help with the car. He's telling me I'm helping with the car and looking for a newer vehicle or something about a newer vehicle. So I'll leave that with you with Spirit's blessings.
Thank you.
Okay. Megan H., would you like a message? Okay. I'm hearing from Spirit that the angels, you've been calling on the angels, or Archangel Michael is standing with you. Just remember, they're with you, and not to think about all the bad things. You're moving forward, and I just see a lot of love coming in for you. And just let go of what you don't need. But they're there for you. And if you need help, we got a whole church full of people here. Call us if you need help with something, and we'll come and help. I also see you studying some new metaphysical things. So, any free class you can get on Reiki or healing or anything, do it now, and you'll have it for next year. Just think about it. You might not use it in the fall, but we'll have you doing classes or something later. Any knowledge I hear from Archangel Michael will be helpful to you. And I'll leave that with you with Spirit's blessings.
Thank you.
Okay. You want me to do one more, or are we good?
Sure. If you want one more, that's great. Another quick one, sure.
Leonia Pinta, the doctor, would you like a message? I didn't think I pronounced her name right. Yes. Okay. You're good. Hi. You're going to be offered some new opportunities, and I see you very carefully thinking about it. And they're pretty big stones you're going to walk across. But there's another person wanting the same thing, and you've got to be strong as you walk across this, because the other person is not as qualified but they think they are. But you're the one the Spirit has called you to move forward in this. And just be careful and keep secrets to yourself with this opportunity. I'll leave that with you with Spirit's blessings. Thank you for letting me serve.
Absolutely. Thank you, Reverend Vicki. And I'm going to mute Reverend Vicki, and I'm going to mute Ileana, and I'm going to ask Reverend Renee if she is up for serving and unmuting.
Good morning.
There we go.
Sure, absolutely.
Good morning. Hi. Thank you for serving.
Thanks. Okay, Linda K., can I come to you? Would you like a message?
Yeah.
Okay,
Please.
wonderful. All right, so Spirit is showing me a tremendous amount of energy coming to you constantly, okay? And what Spirit is wanting me to express to you is to refill your vessel. You're giving, 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 okay? And they're showing me that, or they're telling me to express to you to remember to refill. Don't let yourself run empty, okay?
Thank you.
Spirit is really surrounding you in a heavy way, in a very good, beautiful, high vibration, beautiful, light way. Remember yourself, okay? Because it's about you too. It's not about everybody else. It's also about you, you know? And Spirit just wants to express that you bring that to your awareness, okay?
Thank you so much.
I leave that with light and love.
Thank
Okay. Brittany Ludwig, can I come to you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Of course.
Okay. All right. So Spirit was telling me that there's something quite large that's on your mind right now. And okay, so what Spirit is trying to show me, wanting me to relay to you, is that sometimes letting it go brings new answers. Okay, so a tremendous amount of focus on whatever it is that's on your mind. It's pretty vague. Sometimes what Spirit really wants me to let you know, like, let it go to bring in that new energy that can offer you a new solution, new ideas, because you are being assisted. Okay, you are energetically, spiritually, you're being assisted, and it feels like a grandmother energy.
Okay.
And so it's almost like they're showing me, like, you being, like, you're looking at it like a micro, like in a magnifying glass, whatever. I'm not exactly sure. They're not being clear on what it is, but it's something pretty important to you. And you're looking at it real intently, real close, like a magnifying glass. So when you're looking at the magnifying glass, you can't really see everything around you, right?
Right.
Might be more information. So what that's really wanting me to urge you to, like, to let it go, look around, it's okay, go into that surrender, acceptance mode. So new energy can be, and that'll release more energy and information to, you'll be more receptive to it. That you need.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Light and love to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Reverend Renee, thank you very much. All right, and I'm muting. So, Reverend Linda, would you, serve this morning? Help us with a few messages. I'll need you to unmute yourself. There you go.
I have a message for Regina. Would you like a message?
Let me find Regina.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
There is a very strong male presence. One that it's somebody who's passed over that that you didn't know really well, but who was in your life for a brief moment. Maybe like a great uncle or grandfather, but anyway, it's a beautiful presence, and he's with you, supporting you in finding yourself at a very deep level. The deep level, even though it's a deep level, it's a high vibration. You don't need to question yourself as much as you do. You don't need to listen to people who think they're giving guidance, because the biggest guidance actually is within you. You have a beautiful heart. You understand things at a level where it's really like a gift that many people don't understand at this whatever level it is that you're able to. He's supporting you. He's encouraging you. Okay, he's encouraging you to take this little yellow light inside of you, this ball of light, and allow it to shine in yourself, but also, and it's important that you allow it to shine within yourself. Because if you're not allowing it to shine within yourself, it's difficult and challenging for it to just shine out and to affect people in such a positive, loving way. The light is, it's almost like an important reminder, like a symbol, like a reminder to you. And he sends that with just so much love and beauty. He says, "You are beautiful, my little one." And he just is throwing you a kiss and a soft hug on the shoulder. And I'll leave that with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Linda, do you have one more? If not,
Let
that's
me
cool,
see.
whichever.
I had a short one before Megan, but it looks like she's not here. So
Let's see, let's maybe double check here. I know she did get a message a couple minutes ago. Maybe she's.
Yeah. Okay, let's change up to It's, well, is Liz or Fran? Is Liz here? Liz, where are you?
Let's see, let's find Liz here. I know she was here, obviously.
Yeah,
There
she
she is.
was.
Okay, good morning, Liz. There she is.
Oh, here
You
she
guys
is.
are both
Liz, would you like
unmuted.
the message?
Yes, thank you.
You have a wonderful insight with yourself and with other people. And it is challenging, but you also know it's challenging in how to affect a loving change in somebody who's very close to you. You are special in that you can, almost like a light switch, turning on and off. How you are, you go into a way that you can become aggravated, a little upset, but you're able to put this light switch on and you're in a different vibration, you're a different perspective. And when you're in this perspective, in this higher vibration, you open up this like funnel of love. And with this funnel of love, it's so positively affecting with just this ripple effect, these loved ones that you are so torn with. And even though it is, it's like an internal battle with yourself. Don't look at it as a battle. Look at it as not even a challenge, because it really isn't about you, but it's about the way that you shift your perspective and you just show this love. And as I said, when this person or two look back on it, and they'll want that reflection on themselves. And that is just so positive. And there's great praise from the universe to you. You are not lost, and please do not feel lost. I'll leave that with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Reverend Linda. Absolutely. And now we have one last medium this morning or afternoon for Reverend Debra. Did you want to give a message?
Yes, absolutely. This message is for Carol Miller. You want a message? Hi, beautiful. Yes, I had a message when you were speaking about George Floyd being the 100th monkey. Spirit was telling me that you need to go into a place to spend time and grieve that. You have been given this heavy burden and this heavy grief that you're feeling in your heart to release it. So either find some space today or in the next couple of days when you feel called to create a space for yourself and just let the tears flow and let them keep flowing until you feel that your heart lift a little. You've been given this grief to process it, to transmute it and to release it. So just find that space, find that your center, and just allow the tears to come. And Spirit God will tell you when it's enough. And we're never done. We're always transmuting that grief. But yeah, just to really let it go. I don't know if you have a pond or some water anywhere near you, something running, the sound of a creek, anything that'll help with the flow of the tears. I don't know if you've cried about it yet so much, but it's time to, Spirit's saying it's time to let it go and just keep your positive energy. And, but you need to let that go first. So Spirit wants me to leave that with your love and light. And then, do I have time for one more?
We have time for one more, sure.
Okay, Alicia, would you like a message?
Let's find Alicia.
Yes, please.
Alicia, Spirit's saying the same thing with you. You're holding on to a lot of pain and a lot of grief, and you need to get outside for sure today as much as possible to help process that. You're staying in too much. You're closing yourself off. You're isolating. It's time to start opening back up. Your time for reflection and your time for withdrawing is over. So process it, release it, make a ritual, set out. For you, I'm seeing stones, a circle of stones. I don't know if you have an area in your garden or outside somewhere or somewhere in the woods you like to be, but find a circle of stones. And it's something you can create, or you may walk upon what appears to be that. And just, and just find that space. So it's time for you to finally, I see Spirit show me a big door, and it's a blinding light, and you're blinded by what's ahead because you're unsure, because you haven't come to terms with being okay in the unknown. But I see you taking a giant leap forward. And as you do, there's a rainbow bridge that is showing up. So after you do this, I'm also seeing a hose. So maybe get out. Do you have a hose where you water your plants and stuff? And get that hose out and just spray it around until you see the rainbow appear. And that's just going to give you that space of confirmation that you're stepping onto that unknown path of rainbow light that's going to flood through you and just shine through you. It's time for you to get out there, share your message, and share your vibration. And do you study the chakras and the colors and the?
A little bit.
Okay, yeah, maybe doing more of that, because that's where you're going to share the rainbow, the colors, the chakras, and it's all tied in together. You know that. You can just look it up. And I don't know if you're thinking about creating something, videos or something to bring that healing to people so that we can understand. So yeah, so I'll leave that with you with love and light. You're welcome. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Great. All right, thank you, Reverend Debra. Okay, all right, thank you very much. And I do want to say thank you to everybody for your kind attention. We've got just a few more things to go through yet, and then we'll adjourn, I guess, for this Sunday. But I also want to thank the mediums who served, the participants who received messages, and I especially want to thank Spirit and the God of your understanding for being present with us today for the messages and for Debra's talk and for our communion in between times, before and after and during service. Appreciate that Spirit is always with us. So now I have a few announcements. If you're new with the church and new with us today, you can find us through Church of the Angels. Our website is www.thechurchoftheangels.net. And through that, you can also make a donation if you're so inspired. That's a great, safe way to help contribute to the church. And I also want to say that we're trialing, I believe in Reverend Renee. I'm looking at your face to nod yes or no, but we're going to have adding a second meditation opportunity through the month. So Reverend Renee will be leading the second Wednesday of the month's meditation, which will be this Wednesday. That would be the 10th of June. And then I'll be doing one then in about the 24th of June. So you have two opportunities to link with us virtually for some time of quiet reflection. Reach out to us if you have further questions about that. And I will open it up to the floor for other announcements. Wave your hand or chat and I will unmute. Reverend Jenny, do you have? I realize I look like Reverend Jenny too because I'm going through her Zoom platform, but my name is actually really Reverend Cindy. Like
no, I don't think I have anything else. I don't think I have anything else other than continue to do our prayer on Fridays. And yes. If anybody has any questions, make sure that you get them to me through the email or the website. And that's it. I love you all.
Okay. Yeah, and we do have our board meeting this Tuesday evening, which will be done virtually. But if there's information that you want to make sure that gets shared or questions raised, you know, on our website, we list our church's phone number. You can certainly give us a buzz and let us know things that you like or don't like, or things that you have ideas about. And we share that at our board meeting this Tuesday. Anything else from anybody else? I'm scrolling quickly, scrolling once, scrolling twice. Okay, all right. I feel like an auctioneer with that, although I don't have Reverend Vicky's skills with that. Yes, Reverend Jenny.
Denise, did you have something? Denise Ludwig, yeah.
Yeah, did you want to make
I think I saw her hand up. So hang on one second.
I've unmuted.
Oh, there you go.
Denise.
There you go. Did you have an announcement?
Yo, I was going to pass to everybody because I know everybody's been with the TV and stuff. It's been so overwhelming. I got to spend some time with Brittany over the weekend, and we got to watch the Rich Mullins life story, and it was amazing. He had taken the vow of poverty, and oh my gosh, it was such a great movie. And he wrote a lot of music for Amy Grant and a lot of positive stuff. So I wanted to pass it on to somebody that maybe wanted to watch something other than the news.
Denise, can you put the name of that movie in the chat box?
Oh,
so
how do I do that? Well, Brittany might know how to do that for me. It was really good.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Brittany. Because yeah, that would be awesome to have that in writing. And then I'm going to unmute Dale. Thank you, Denise. Thank you for that. Okay. Hold on a moment, Dale. Its computer is a little bit slower, and you might have to unmute on your end. There you go. Now you're
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Just a quick comment that Reverend Cindy, you did a very nice job running the service today.
Oh, phew, thank you. Thank you for that feedback, Dale. I do appreciate it because I do feel a little clumsy here. So honestly, thank you for that feedback. I do appreciate it. Oh, thank you, B. I see a couple thumbs. I appreciate it. Yay, sharing the love, sharing the love. All right. All right. Any other comments or announcements? Are we good? All
No,
right.
I have it. I saw the one.
Yeah.
Is that the one that I can only imagine? Yep. Oh yeah, I love that movie.
Okay, so you're going to put the name of the movie in the chat box so we can all take a moment and jot
Where
it
did my
down.
chat go?
Scrolling up from the bottom, and you'll see that little bubble.
I know, aren't they cute?
Did you find it? Denise, can you say the name of the movie again? You're not muted.
The life story of Ragamuffin, Rich Mullins.
Okay, the life story of Ragamuffin, and it's basically the story of Rich Mullins. Did we hear you right?
I just tried to send it.
Okay. Oh, I see.
I'm not sure if it's sent to just Dad or for everybody.
Well, I see that we have The Healer is another great movie that Shannon Williams is recommending. So that's good to know while we kind of have some extra time on our hands, I suppose. All right, The Healer and the Ragamuffin story, Rich Mullins story. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, thank you for sharing that. Okay, everybody should see The Healer from Judy. Okay, absolutely. Then I definitely have to scope that one out. I'm writing it down actually, so bear with me just a moment. We're going to have our closing song and then our closing prayer, okay? Unless there's other announcements, things to share. I'm scrolling once through everybody. I don't see hands waving. In the chat we have, okay, yeah, Healer is a great movie. Okay, terrific, thank you. So, and again, thank you for the nice feedback, people, for my initiation with this whole technology platform thing. So we're going to have another song. I think that if you listen to the lyrics, you may resonate with them at this point. This is a song that was from Charlie Puth and James Taylor singing it. It came out in 2018. However, I think the lyrics are In closing, let us pray. Infinite Spirit, Mother, Father, God, as we move forward, we thank you in advance for the guidance and resources you always provide for us to live the fullest expression of your love. We pray for all those affected by the circumstances throughout our world at this time. May we be reminded of the opportunities to reconnect in love to all those around the world, to Mother Earth, and to the universe. Amen. And thank you. Thank you for all the messages of love in the chat box. We just got to take this seed and, like a dandelion, let it blow in the wind to all the corners of the world. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you. Namaste. And now I'll unmute everybody that we can all share and kibitz and bring your own coffee kind of thing. And
make sure that you stop the recording, Cindy.
I am, thank you, Reverend Jenny. Absolutely. I am stopping it now. We're off the record now. Yes.
Okay.
Stop the crowd. Oops, hang on. I don't want to. Yeah,